Hey. Oh, hey, Leo. How are you doing, man? Um, yeah, late evening. Yeah, I'm starting late here. You're playing Shining Force with Mark. Cool. Enjoy that. I've never played any of the Shining Force stuff. And hello, Mark. Um, so let me set this up. I got a couple of things I need to edit. First, I want to make a new emote, um, a new Simon emote, and then I want to start editing that banjo or radio banjo video again, just take out all the small errors and start adding the tune names. So I might do that now. Just checking something on Discord. Mark saying what's up. Cool, fair enough. Um, and yeah, old RPGs. You know what? I enjoyed. I keep saying I don't care for RPG or JRPGs in general, but the old JRPGs I do enjoy very much. Or I did enjoy stuff like obviously Fantasy Star. That was the last cover, but stuff like that is uh, even on the MSX I played. Was it Hidlide or Hidlid or whatever it's called? It's pronounced whichever way. But I played that on the MSX at the time, and even the first Zelda, well, Zelda 1 and 3 really I did enjoy those. They're not technically, I suppose, JRPGs, but um, yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. Yeah, I remember that game. It wasn't a great game by any stretch, but that's all I had on the MSX. That's the only English speaking JRPG or RPG of that genre I had access to, and while people were playing Zelda, I had to content myself with stuff like Highlight. So, but I am much more of a Dungeons and Dragons RPG, you know, gamer. Like I used to play Dungeons and Dragons, like pen and paper, tabletop type of stuff with my friends, and the red box, the original box. We played that, and Dark Sun was one of our campaigns, and Forgotten World, and stuff like that. But um, I enjoyed Baldur's Gate, yeah, 1 and 2 very much. And what was the other one? The Baldur's Gate, the one that's in the ice. It's still in the Forgotten Realms. I forgot now. Icewind Dale, and the one in those kind of ethereal realms. What was it called? Torment. Torment. That was it. Torment. I played that quite a bit well on the PC. Ed Horst, how are you doing? And providing the emote. So yeah, tonight I'm making one new emote um, because well, Leo being the man that he is, just gifted subs to a half of the subscriber base here on Twitch, and actually put me over the threshold for a new emote. Actually, two new emotes. So one for tier 1 and the other one for tier 2. So I'm gonna make well, probably two. We'll see. We'll see. So let me just this and also new lights. I got these kind of blue LEDs. In fact, I put them outside on our garden area, and they look smashing as well. I had about 3 rolls of 5 meters each, so I put them shitloads here, and yeah, it actually creates more light. And this, I never could get a good image of this camera. It always seems like it looks blurry, but maybe it's just my face. Maybe I just look blurry. But I think in this light it actually comes okay. So yeah, proper proper streamer lights. Let me just put out here. So what have I got? I just need to navigate here to my. So I want to make a new Simon emote. Obviously Twitch stuff, and I have a number. No, not here. A number of Simon photos to choose from. So I've old stuff actually from Simon. I just pulled all the Simon photos I had that I put on Instagram and that kind of stuff. That was in that was actually What's going on? Um, that was 2016 in New York, and I had Sam, we were going to that Retro World Expo convention, and I, of all things, I put Simon in our backpack. I just wanted to get some shots of him in in New York. Um, this is very usable, but I think we have an emote like that, the one with the open mouth, sort of wow type of stuff. So I don't think I need another one. Um, but it was a cool one to do. This one, I don't think that's usable for anything. That was on top of the Empire State Building, actually. Uh, yeah, Fiona and I were in a whatever, whatever shopping center mall that was, one of those big retail spaces, and whatever they're called. But there was a kids' outfits, and they had a cowboy one, and we bought one. An outlet, yeah, one of those, whatever they're called. What do you call them? Something mark. Hey, Tricky Flatman, thanks for the cheers, dude. Thank you very much. Um, much appreciated, man. And welcome. How are you doing? So I'm making a new emote for subscribers, and I'm just picking photos to work from. What do you call those kind of, in Edahorse in Ireland, it's what, Tesco, and it's all these big shopping centres. I don't know what they're called in America anymore. Yeah, I can't use that. That sort of, I could use that, but I'm not sure what emotion it would carry. It would actually read well, especially small, because I could get the outline here. Maybe sort of curiosity or that kind of stuff. But I think we need something a bit more striking before Manhattan Bridge. Yeah, Walmart. That's the word I was looking for. A Walmart type of place. Yeah, sometimes emotion that makes no sense are fun, I suppose. This would make a cool one. I still have the outfit. It was a baby's type of fucking. Is that sad? Is that super sad? We still have it. So I could actually retake the entire video. What do you need the emotes for? No, the emotes are the this here. This thing, the little Simon faces. So only subscribers have access to those, and I can only, I think 10 subscribers I had one emote, then 15 I had two, and 25 I have a third one. So you sort of unlock them as you're getting more subscribers, and I think the next one is at 35. And yeah, so only people who subscribe to the Twitch channel have access to those. So I have one for tier 1, which is 1 month subscription, and I have a new one unlocked for tier 2. So I essentially have two to make now. So maybe something with that outfit. I would need to retake that photo and actually have the outfit read well, because it gets so squished. I don't think it'll be readable. Like they're very small. And here, if you look at these two emotes, what I actually have is the face. So I don't think the outfit would actually read well. I would need to just, the face would be so small, and the thing. So I think we can only focus really on Simon's face. This wouldn't be a bad one, or this. It would actually be the same. Yeah, I think the Simon with the shades. This is so ridiculous. I'm looking at. We had to stand there with while one of us was taking the picture and the other one would hold Simon. So sometimes it was Fiona, sometimes it was me. With people, like, I don't know how many people are on top of the Empire State Building at one time, but it's full of people. and just stand there. And you know what? The funny part is nobody gave a fuck. Like nobody just looked by. It's New York. They probably see it every day. Um, it does make for cool shots though. I'm so upset with this shot. It's actually that would make a cool emote actually. Just that face. Again, I'm not sure what emotion it would carry, but the thing I'm upset with this shot is that this whole face here should be looking the other way. Because that shot, composition wise, it's interesting. We've got a big item here, sort of, and then we got this starting 2/3. We've got this big movement moving in, so everything is drawn to here. And Simon is looking in the dead spot. He should be looking in the open area away. Composition wise, it's a missed shot. Because otherwise, it was such a cool composition. Know what you mean with a few that have in specific emotes. I thought you didn't know. um, yeah, it's New York. You weren't the strangest thing this or that day. Yeah, that's yeah. I realized that. I realized that there. As we pulled Simon out in the middle of a, whatever this. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's a cool one. Could you use that? Actually, the face would translate well. The outline of the face. Something like that. That would work. Yeah, New York is interesting for that. It's just nobody really. But see, that's the problem with big cities like that. First, you can be anybody there, which is, I suppose, cool. But the problem is if you could, because you can, anybody can be anybody there. Nobody gives a fuck really. So you're so anonymous, and everybody has to be so eccentric to stand out. LA is like that. I mean, I remember my time there. Those 8 months I spent there, and it's just so many people. It's hard. You don't stand out, and so many eccentric people as well. New York was interesting though. It was quite fascinating. Just the sheer size of the building and the overwhelming nature of the place. Um, it's its own world, absolutely. Yeah. When do you unlock or have access to videos for bed donations? So donations, you mean the little videos like the follow and the subscriptions? Is that what you mean? For bid donations. Oh, I see what you mean. I think there is, like, I can actually test them. Actually, let me check. There you go. If you give over, like, do bid donations over a certain amount, and same with actual donations. That's what I have set up, so I can actually change them right now. So I have changed them for the follow one. And this is it, and for the subscription one, this is what I use.
The Cool Guy Club.
And were the sounds even enabled for that? Yeah. Yeah, so those. So I just use those Futurama ones. I like that shut up and take my money one, because it's just shut up and 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 which I made the sound for that. I did the sound over the GIF. You heard it all. The cool guy one is an extract from a podcast called Your Mom's House podcast, and it's Tom Segura and his wife Christina Pajinski or something like that. They're both stand-up comedian, and they use that cool guy club whenever they find not a weirdo, but not the most glamour type of weirdo type of stuff. But it's a sort of a recurring joke. So people who watch that podcast wouldn't kind of get that reference, and it's not, it's not an indication on people who subscribe. It's more a reference to that podcast, and people who know it will get it, type of stuff. Also, it's a cool sound, and listen, I love that sound.
The Cool Guy Club.
I just love it. Anyway, yeah, I love Futurama as well. You know what I love in Futurama is I've said that before, is the commentaries. If you watch the DVDs with the commentaries on, the commentaries are actually even more funny than the show itself. And that's what I've been watching most of the time. Whenever I rewatch Futurama, so I think this is a good candidate. What else have I got? That was when I did that video for how to be a YouTuber thing. I should pull those videos out again and just make them more prominent on the channel. Uh, that was a thumbnail I did a review of that MSX model on the 8-bit Man Shed years ago. I think that was the thumbnail I used because I kept saying how sexy it was and that kind of stuff. I do like that. I can't use that because it's cut, but that's actually something I might reuse for a photo transition. Oh, there you go. How come that? Yeah. So this is sorry. So have you seen any of that? I forgot. I'm not sure what you've seen. Oh, you haven't seen. So I've been talking to myself all the time, and I wasn't showing any of these photos. Sorry about that. So this was when we arrived in New York, and I walked in New York with Simon in my backpack. So I was just talking to myself and quite embarrassing. So anyway, never mind. And then so yeah, I took all these shots with Fiona. This was on top of the in. I thought I was keeping all secret. No, I was trying to share them. Oh shit. Yeah, and this is the outfit we had for Simon. This is it. I have it here now, and it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, these are cool shots. Oh, jeez, that's what 20 minutes wasted now, just talking to myself, thinking you could see it. Sorry about that. I suppose if I had my Streamlabs in front of me as well, it would help. Yeah, so we just walked around New York, just taking shots like that. Either Fiona holding Simon or I was holding Simon. She'd take the shot, and that was a wasted. There was nobody gave a fuck. Just nobody even batted an eyelid or turned around. I like this shot. The only thing is Simon is probably a bit too low. Again, I can't use any of that. Well, it's not a bad stance. It doesn't carry anything. It doesn't translate into anything. Neither does this one. It's a cool outline, and Simon is full, but it doesn't translate into emote those. This one might. I'm not sure what for, but this one might. Again, this was on top of the Empire State Building. This is the one I was saying was a missed composition. I'm so mad because it would have been such a cool composition if Simon had looked the other way. Anyway, this one I think I did myself and just tried to hold the camera, and that's probably why I messed up the composition. Doesn't matter. So this is the one I was saying would probably look cool, I think. But I have a few ones of these glasses. I think this is the one with the glasses we're gonna have to use. Has the audio here? Yeah. Got that. I need to clean those. That's better, isn't it? And the raid emote is good too. Oh yeah. I have the host and the raid stuff is.
Good news, everyone.
Is the same one. I like that because it's just everybody's coming into that box kind of thing. Raid. Yeah. So. The raid emote. Yeah, we see. Interesting. I know what you mean. I thought you meant the animation for the raid. Let me put this higher because it's way too loud now. So, a raid emote Just Simon with the word raid. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe when we get a few more in the stream, everyone goes into maybe yeah. Maybe when we get a few more. Right now we've only 2 Simon emotes. I think doing something with those glasses, like something like that. This is one. So I said I think this was a still shot from a video from that had to be YouTuber video type of stuff. Is this gone again? Yeah, it's gone again. I have problems with that button. Anyway, what else? So this was the review of that MSX V20, the Canon V20, and I kept saying how sexy it looked and kind of stuff. So I Simon like that, but I can't use that. But it's probably an idea for a future emote. Simon trying to be sexy, and yeah. So these are the ones I did the other day. He looks like a dodgy. Did I sell that? I didn't sell that one yet. I sort of realized, like I do obviously like MSX, but I've 5 or 6, and I don't need them. And I think if I was gonna keep some collection of MSX, it'd probably have to be the Philips one. I'm saying that now. I have this. Actually, this guy is the MSX2 Plus. That's the one I use most of the time. But I have my old MSX. I have my old MSX1. I have 2 copies of that actually, because Bard sent me one recently, and I have the model before that. So I have a collection of Philips MSX. Now I think if I was going to have a collection, it's probably going to be the Philips model, because my dad worked at Philips and I had those, and etc. etc. So that Canon I will probably sell at some point. Yeah. I do like this one. Is it usable? I don't think it'll read enough. We can try it. Isn't it darn cute? I like this one. I'm not sure what it would translate, but it's a. You could pixelate a Philips MSX. It's not going to read well. I don't think it will. We could try something like that in time. Right now, I'm probably going to aim for like 4 or 5 Simon emotes, and then after that, whenever that happens, we'll go for other stuff. But I'll probably use something like that at some point. And I think that's all I have. I do like these. Are they usable? You know what? I do like this one. And do like this one. It's actually all complete. I think I'm gonna just try and do something with this. Waveform, hey Adrian, how are you doing? We're making emotes tonight. You use them in other streams. That was man, that was confused the shit out of people there. Oh really? Yeah. Well, I suppose you can do that. Use emotes from other people on Twitch. Okay, so let's just make this a layer. We'll just add a new. Actually, no, I don't need to add a new layer. So we're gonna use. Let's see, that's gonna take too long. So I'm gonna use that selection tool, and we should be able to get an outline out of that, at least a rough outline, and we can clean that afterwards. I need that shadow. Why are you zooming? You know, we're going to delete that. What's going on here? Oh. Hello. There you go. Huh. Close enough. You just work one bit at a time. Okay. Shut up, stream is actually my life. um, I'm gonna take a paid subscription to that Streamlabs service. Right now, I'm using the free version, but if I get the paid one, I can actually rename that bot, and I'm gonna rename it Simon, because I just like the idea of Simon being a bot here, and it'll give me an excuse to insult people virtually. Leo, are you taking turns to play then? Is it old style playing, RPG playing? You're taking turns holding the controller and then. What's that going on here? Why is that? Is there a bar here? I'm seeing a sort of artifact. Never mind. We can tidy that later. I'll add a border. Good thing here is I don't need to be super careful because it's going to be so scaled down that it won't matter. Look at this. Is that artifacts from? No, I'll clean that afterwards. There you go. Yeah, I think that'll read well. I probably won't use the hand, so we'll probably just have to use. How tight can we get it? Actually, yeah. $12. Yeah, I think that's a. Huh. That looks. Yeah, that looks funny now. Yeah, that's the really old school way of playing a JRPG with your friend, isn't it? Uh, Taking turns to hold. But I used to love that. I used to, you know what? I actually early on when I was a kid, I realized I enjoyed watching people play more than I enjoyed playing myself. Um, and I think we're just after the. We're just looking for something squarish. Yeah, I think that'll read better than anything else. I think with Simon, we just want the head and nothing else. Yeah, because Actually, we can probably just even zoom a little bit more and just get rid of that. Oh, there you go. That's a perfect square. Maybe a little bit more, get some of that shin. 42. Yeah, that's close enough. And then I can tidy that. I'll try a few. I prefer it to be a communal event. Yeah, absolutely. Like I just there's a few actually French streamers that I watch. I just chill. You know, I grab a drink or something like that and just watch them play. Actually, I probably don't need this camera here with my hands, or maybe. But it's just there's something about even in arcade as a kid. I used to love to go in the arcades. Obviously, I didn't have much money to to play with, but I used to love and just watch people play. And I was the same with video games. Give that a bit of smooth. No. Should we get music here in the background? Let me get some music in the background. What should we listen to? Oh. How about some Monkey Island 2? Hopefully you can hear it. Do a synth solo. There you go. Didn't have any VST plugin. Actually, I got some cool VSTs today. It's called whatever. I forgot what it's called. There's a guy on the internet that I follow. There's a channel that I follow. I'm gonna do Is that music coming out in? Should hopefully low enough. Guy Mitchell-Moore. Now, Guy Mitchell-Moore is a composer. And let me pause this for a second. Guy Mitchell-Moore is a composer that I've been following for a while, and his channel sort of kicked off recently with the COVID stuff, but because he's doing sort of tutorials on composing, and he's been doing that for a long time, but reviews and stuff like that. He's sort of a madman, and you'll see what I mean.
When you get an idea and you're not quite sure how you're going to realise it. In fact, when your idea is better than your ability to play it. And I've got this idea for this particular kind of sound which sort of evokes the beauty of a tropical jungle at dawn, something like that. And I'm going to use quite a few acoustic instruments. Now, okay, what have we got? We've got whistles. These are chieftain whistles. There's a low D, there's a D, and
Whistles.
an A. We've got oh, I love the ukuleles. We've got
Ukuleles.
We've got a baritone and a soprano. We've got a couple of guitars.
Guitars.
One tuned to open fifths, the old Epiphone, and a normal acoustic steel string, which is the Faith.
Appalachian
Appalachian dulcimer. All these things. Now, here's
I'll just skip because I don't want to use this video. But what he records, he wants to record something jungly, naturey in the morning. So he records the flute first.
I'm going to play some simple phrase. My microphone and headphones and
I will skip it a lot, but I just want to show you the idea.
I didn't think this through.
Guy Mitchell-Moore.
Again. Okay. What are we doing? 90 beats a minute.
I think we'll agree. Everybody or anybody can do that. Doesn't matter what he's playing. He's just playing nonsense right now. He's sending it to patches.
Want that strange.
Shift pitching it and changing the
out.
shift, the
I'm
pitch.
gonna-
He's gonna. So he's playing it. He's reversing it. So that's him reversing it. Or actually, no, he's putting an echo. So he's delaying them by offsetting them. Like it's like a canon.
Okay. That's
And
sort of what I
then
had in mind.
similar to my recent stuff. Yes and no. It's composing techniques. I mean, it's all tricks.
Okay.
It's all smokes and mirrors, really. So he's recorded essentially this, and then he's reversed it here. You can see it's the same waveform here, but it's in reverse. So he's created a sort of a canon echo type of stuff. So they start at a few bars of delay, and he's done the same stuff reversed. So it just creates that sort of a.
Little click there.
So he's doing that, and then he is. I'm just going to skip He's doing some chords. Harmonic chords in this case.
Oh, what a difference, eh?
Again, it's stuff that most people can do. You don't
Some.
really need to know how to play. You'd float the wrong end of your tennis.
Now I'm going to duplicate the track.
So
Quite
he's doing
like
the same
as a
stuff,
sort of,
just creating a texture, and nice putting chords on top of it. It's actually simple chords, major, second, or ninth, and then it's all major ninth, just progression on it. So it's that major ninth would be just this is sorry, you can't actually see my thing.
Is this turning into an ambient load of twaddle?
Yes.
What I'm not sure about
so what
is
he's
how I'm
doing
going
is
to get out
that's a
of
major
this
chord,
harmonic
sort
of
first, third,
lock
and
I've got
fifth,
myself
but he's
in.
adding the second here, something like that, and that tends to create sort of a. There you go, that sound. Ambient load of twaddle. Loaded toilet. Ambient load of twaddle.
I'm just going to add one more instrument, which is, I'm just going to put in.
Dude, I'm the French guy. I
largely
have to
because
tell
find
you
it
what he
easier to
says.
balance. I'm going to try put a little tiny bit of guitar in and see if I can make any sense out of any of this.
So he's
I
doing
want this
something
to
interesting
work.
here because he's not happy with the chords he's putting. So he's actually changing his sort of string stuff to a guitar that has more definition. So he actually
And we're nearly there, and it's nearly good.
the reason. The reason he's doing that is because those strings can over drown an arrangement, and like that, it can sound like an ambient load of twaddle. I do like the loaded toilet though, but yeah, it will sound cool, sort of, no matter what you do. So he switches it to a guitar, or maybe like a piano would work, but a guitar is sort of unapologetic in whenever you make mistakes. So he's switching to guitar to find his chords, and then he's going to switch back to a string. I'm going to fast forward again because I don't want to spoil it all too much for you. Oh yeah, he adds
Good news, everyone.
ukulele. But then he's found his chords.
Is there any point in having a go Are these guitars
I
doing?
think he finds them here. That's really interesting. Thanks for the host. Major ninth again. Again.
Okay, and then 13 is where.
Blah blah blah. He had stuff.
Now, the main thing you take away from this is even if you play these instruments as badly as I do, you can actually come up with something that sounds half decent. We just got to do a lot of editing. Let's drag that down so I can see it.
This could be a Jurassic Park. Yeah, Jurassic Park. When you get to Jurassic Park. Anyway, I won't play too much of it. You get the idea. He's done that a few times. Guy Mitchell Moore. I've been following him for ages. That was his last one, Spider in the Studio, and that's what he does. He sees something.
It's a bee trapped in a spider's web, and the spider is attempting to eat the bee.
And then from there, he just composes something out of his just head, just randomly, and just goes through the whole process. They're short videos. He's
Etc. Okay.
Then,
anyway. So and that. And he goes through the whole process of recording the piece, and shows you what instruments he uses, what he does, and he can't play most of these instruments, but he just he finds a way to enhance them. Yeah, well, it's the same process I would use, But it's just cool. He's an actual composer too, with years of experience, and it's just cool to see him work. I have a few channels like that. I'll share them every now and then, but he's a guy I've been following for quite a long time. He's very much like my friend Steve Foreman. That's exactly what he would do. Like he'd see, God, it's we we were coming out of a bar one evening, and keep in mind the guy is 60 at the time. But anyway, so we sort of had to relieve ourselves from the beer, and so we're doing that in an alley, and he, as I don't know, I think he was pissing on a piece of metal, and he goes, "Oh, listen to that! It's a chromatic run." And he managed to get sort of a sounding chromatic run out of his stream, and so we went back to the studio and just continued the evening there, and we wrote it. Well, he did really. I helped, but he did, and wrote a piece based on that chromatic run. It was that kind of genius. He was. He's still around, but yes, it's. I owe a lot to that guy. Yeah, it takes a rare talent to hear it in the first place and then act on it, but that's the guy was in so many movies and composing, like he composed for E.T. and Crocodile Dundee and that type of stuff. Like he was a performer, but came up with he was a percussionist essentially, but Also a very, very accomplished musician. Anyway, your inspiration, yes, exactly. So this, let's see if it scales down. What's the scale? So we're very limited for emotes, and we need them in 3 sizes. I don't know why, because the only small one we use is this, but 1, 12, 56, and 28. So let's just try 28. There's only one way to know if it reads in 28, because we could try the other ones and it doesn't read. This is it here. I think let's fill this with white or black, doesn't matter. Let's use white. That kind of, does it read? Does it read? That's the main problem with these. It's just it's hard to I suppose there's only one way to try it, but it's to upload it. I can't test in chat straight away. The only problem is these all have to be approved for some reason. Well, for some reason, no, for reason they define. It just these have to be approved first. Is that the? Is that definitely the? Does that look a 28 pixel size? It looks more like the. Yeah, that's 28 size. Hey Fiona. The lights? Yeah. I put these. I 2 rolls of neon lights like that, so I put them out on our deck area there, and it looks like a spaceship. It's pretty cool. It looks like an outside bar at the moment. Is that? Can we read the glasses? The whole point of this is the glasses. I don't think we can read them enough. Oh, hold on a sec. No, I'm at 90 here. That's that's the actual size. Oh, obviously you can't see that because it's tiny, but this is probably the size. I don't know. Because now that nose part is looking the same as that glass, and I don't think it reads as well. You're on mobile, you can see, Jack. You're on mobile, wow. I mean, we can zoom, it looks fine, but people who know will know, I suppose, and if you've been following the channel for a while, you'd know about Simon, I suppose, but I just don't want to alienate people either. Like, and I don't like that navigator over there. I need it here. Let's extend this. And you probably can't see these things either. Doesn't matter, actually. Yeah. We'll keep it here, maybe. So, I'm not entirely convinced, but we can try something. Let me. You know, before I crop anything, let's just tidy this all together. First, I think we can get rid of this here. Yeah, the glass, we just lose that resolution, and it's just because we're like, it's 28 pixels by 28 pixels, and so I think we're losing that. Oh, we were listening to music as well in the background. Let me just reload that. And is that too loud? A little bit. because everything is better in music. They are promoting your stream having ads too. What, the emotes? I gotta do some Monkey Island 2 covers. Actually, Jojo the Monkey would be a cool one to do. Really cool tune, Jojo the Monkey. Actually, we don't need to clean it that much. It's just So can we? They always ask about the emote. Oh, I get it. Okay. Fair enough. So yeah, I don't want to mess these up. I don't think that reads. I don't think that reads at all. What do I do? Can I... Let me try something. Let's red. And then you give a link to the street. Thank you very much, Ed. Are people really asking about the... It's kind of funny. But I saw you brought... what was that other streamer got into raid me a while back? I like the idea of people just being a hitch. And then he joined in on a couple of streams actually since. And he did follow the channel. It was very cool. Thank you very much for that. You're a mod over there. Okay, fair enough. I don't know him at all. I did actually go and see some of his videos. Now, does that read a bit better? You know what I could do is I could try... his emotes, I don't know how he ended up there. It's fair enough. I mean, it's probably what Bard is saying. You know, I still don't know what to do with the mods. Like, do you pay mods? Do you, I don't know what to do. Like, I never thought I'd be in that situation at all, where I'd have and need mods. I know. I just feel bad. I really feel bad. And Bard's got his own stuff to deal with too. I mean, it's not like yeah. Anyway, I feel bad about asking people to do stuff voluntarily, and I can't. It's not like I can afford to employ people. I'm not exactly paying myself even, like, so. I think that reads a bit better. You know what? I'm gonna save that for now. We can try it in the Discord server and see if that works. And Simon photo, no Twitch stuff. Emotes. Need them as PNGs. Actually, we need the background to be transparent. Yeah, it is. I think that's not the Jojo the Monkey theme yet. Say that like that. Next one is 56. So we're just gonna do that. You're in and out watering your garden. That's what I was doing today. I actually went for a cycle with your stream on for a while. It was nice. It was actually really cool. Oh, by the way, that Brett on music piece, I've edited a video for it, Leo. So I'll release that. Actually, I should share that on Patreon tonight after this, and I'll have that out on Wednesday. Say that. And yeah, on Patreon, obviously, it's not a free video, so to speak, because it's not a video game cover. Figure mods are mostly shutting trolls down. Yeah. I'm lucky I haven't had many trolls. The only one I had was, actually, a couple of days ago on YouTube. There was this guy who kept talking Spanish. I kept asking him to speak in English. What he ended up doing is he had 3 accounts on YouTube, so he kept logging on with a new one every time I banned him. But ultimately, I banned the last one. But I don't like. Why do people do that? You know what I mean? What's in it for them? I never get that. And then, I don't know, you go through all the trouble of interacting with somebody, you get one chance at a first impression, and this is what you use it for. I never get it. Maybe do more music stream. Yeah, it's actually fun to just to listen to and chill to. I very much enjoy that. I have to practice for so long before I can record. Might as well stream my practice. But that's the way that's what I'm doing now. I'm just streaming stuff that is tedious and I have to do, but it's just cool to chat. See, like, when you sit down with your friends and practice stuff, your friends would... I remember just doing that with my friends, and they just used to love just chatting while I was practicing and just, experiencing the moment. Like, that's what it's about. I think streaming, Twitch in general, it's just about the moment. So the final product doesn't have to be perfect or even finished or even remotely good. It's more about the moment itself. Was he saying anything offensive? Wait for no, he wasn't actually. But he was just being, I don't know, he was just being cocky and an ass about it. And I asked him 3 times, can you just switch to English, please? And he replied in Spanish, which, I can read some Spanish. It's not that different from French. But he replied in Spanish, I am speaking English. And I was like, why? Why are we having this interaction right now about this? So I asked him 3 times, and third time I banned him. He logged in with a new account, and this new account was just the same name with the ending was different. Something about what was it, Mega Man or something, or whatever it was. So he had 3 accounts like that. So banned him on those 3 accounts. But it's I don't know. Yeah, no, I can't speak Spanish, but I can understand some of it and I can read it. Okay, it's not that different from French, really. So, but it's nothing offensive. It's just being, I don't know. It's just being a troll, really, and silly and like I said, you get one chance at a interaction. Why do you choose it to be a negative experience? Welcome to the internet. I know. And I've seen it on this channel as well. You get people yeah. I'm just not wired like that, so it's just every time I see it, I despair a bit. I'm going, why? This could have been a fun moment for you and I, and you decided that it wouldn't be so. It's such a shame. Anyway, 56, 56, yeah. Sorry. Can I remember the shortcut? Yeah. That's gonna read a lot better. We're gonna try this. I'm gonna try a few emotes and see which ones work best, but I'm gonna save these anyway. I suppose I should expect more stuff like that as the channel grows. It's just I don't want to. Simon Tree. Have I deleted the Simon emote? I have. Like an imbecile. It's okay, I can remake it. Yeah, I'll get more when I get bigger and everything. I know. And to be honest, I've been rather spared so far. One, because I haven't been doing this stuff to start with, but I tried not to attract people like that, but I keep to myself on Twitter usually. I just post silly stuff or whatever the latest video is on the channel, but I keep it to that, and the odd silly stuff. But it's just that's it. Like I don't broadcast my opinion on things, even though they're pretty consensual, but it's just I keep to myself on Facebook and Twitter usually. I think that helps a lot, and on YouTube as well. Even in the community tab, if something annoys me, I just I try to keep it to myself as much as I can. There's no point. Plus, social media is just not the place for that kind of stuff. There's always horrible humans out there. I keep my opinion to myself on the internet, and my stuff is all positive and silly. I do try. Yeah. Nice Galaxian board, by the way. Where? Who? What? When? Who? What are we talking about? Galaxian board. But what was I saying? The PCB. Where? What are we looking at? And you've lost me there. I actually don't have Galaxian boards anymore. I fixed 2 of them and I sold them. The recent YouTube video. No, that was Arkanoid. My recent YouTube video was Arkanoid. It's probably YouTube recommended it to you recently, but the Galaxian fix would have been an old one. It's probably last year or actually more than that. Or am I confusing stuff? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. It's alright. Simon 4. Actually, it's alright, I think. Now that I see it in the this window here. I think it's alright. May look into that. I think so. We'll make more. I'll make another one. I need a candidate. One, I don't think that's usable. I can't see it reading well. I think this is the one. And we might have to do the same stuff on just to bring out the blue back on this, but I love this for some reason. That gets me every time. That's such a cute. Oh yeah, the Taito custom IC. Yeah, that was. So I reproed that, and I reproed the PCB for the spinner. And my goal is I want to get into 3D printing. I want to repro, and I'll provide all the files for free if I do. But I want to repro all the wheel and the gears, so people can make their own spinners. Because the Arkanoid spinner is really rare and really expensive now. It's getting more expensive than the board itself. There's more boards than spinners. So I bought a couple of spinners recently off the internet, and because there's a few variations, so I want to make the models for 3D printing all the parts. I've never done it before, and I don't have a 3D printer nor any software, but that's going to be my learning, my kind of sort of tutorial into doing that. What parts are printable? Just let me get that. Is that music overwhelming, or is it quite enough? This guy. So this is the Arkanoid spinner. So this is what you see on top here. You know what? Let me just zoom this in. And transition. So this is your spinner here, and this is the board I reproed. So it's the controller board, and it has these 2 opto couplers. Now the original opto couplers aren't. Hey, Problem Child, how are you? So the original opto couplers aren't. You can't find them anymore. So I just found equivalents to those. So these are all marked on the PCB, and it's very, very simple. It's just those 2 and 2 resistors. So that's not the big deal. What's going to be this should be easy to 3D print. Actually, easy to 3D print. I think the unknown for me, because I've never 3D printed anything, is going to be to repro those gears. And like my goal is to put all the files for available for everybody for free to print them. So if they need that, the gears or whatever, as well as these metal parts. at least 3D prints for these and this head. So that's going to be sort of my tutorial learning curve in 3D printing, because I've never done anything like that before, and I want to learn. It's going to be a new cool way to learn and a steep learning curve, but that's what I want to do. So I want to just do that and put that all for free out for people to repro, because these are getting rare and super expensive to find. And then the PCB, you know, I have that on my Etsy shop anyway, but it's like, I don't know, $4 or something for the PCB. The optocouplers will be probably the hardest part to source, but there are still loads of them on eBay. I found ones that are still available easily, so yeah. Nylon gear kits you can get for your gears. Yeah, so I'm interested in that. All right. Yeah, most optocouplers, interrupters are similar enough. It's just the order sometimes is swapped, so you just need to find the right one for that PCB. But I suppose you could change the PCB. But it's just I did it 2 specs from the original one, so you need to find the right ones. And there's a few ones that I've sourced, and I have that on the Etsy shop, like which ones you can use and that kind of stuff. But that's not the hard part to source. These will be harder to make and find. But the nylon gear kits. But can you print that? Like, can you make that, or can you source that somewhere? Steve yeah. 3D printing. Yeah, that's true, actually. That's true. If you are 3D printing, you can print the interrupter body. I know, but we're getting into too much DIY for most people. I want to make this easy. That's why I started doing through-hole stuff for everybody, because not everybody's happy with SMD, and not everybody's able for it. And yeah, I know what you mean. It just it would get too messy, and then I too many options will just make it harder for people to find what's suitable for them, as opposed to going, okay, this is what you need to use this here, do that, and you know, to keep it simple. Usually I find you bind the wines, you need by the hundreds. Oh, I see what you mean. If I do that, then I would need to actually source them and then have the stock myself. I just want to make the files available for people to use. That's my goal. So maybe make the 3D files or the 3D printing files, and then they can do whatever. Maybe you can do those nylon stuff from the 3D files. I don't know. I don't know anything about that, to be honest. So. What 3D printer did I get? None yet. I haven't got any, and I want to get into it. I just thought this would be, or they can buy the kit for $3-5. We'll be cutting it very tight if I did it for $3-5. But yeah, something like that. If I start getting into kits, then I start getting into customer service and into this. The less moving parts and less parts I have to deal with, the better I will feel. So, like if I provide the 3D files from you, oh, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, maybe I need to look into that. If you have links to send me on Discord or stuff like that, then I'd appreciate it. This is not the discussion we're having tonight. I like this guy. I'm making emotes for Twitch tonight. And I think this guy is a good candidate. Yeah, I just segue into this because Adrian was asking me, but yeah, it's there's quite a lot of moving parts in this, and then there's all the shafts and rods and stuff like that. that we have to deal with. But in general, or I mean, the option is to, like you said, get a I think a kit would be. I suppose price is not the issue. It's just the availability of the spinners.
Cool guy club.
They don't come. That thing. Thank you very much, Leo, for the sub, for the gift. Yeah, problem child, you now have access to 2 and soon 3 amazing Simon emotes. Anyway, let's make this a layer. Create a new layer, transparent layer underneath, and really are you? Emotes are life. You know, let's reduce this straight away to. Cool. He's so darn cute. That's fine. Okay, now I get it. I had the wrong layer selected. Whoever came up with that algorithm for smart selecting, I mean, genius. You still use MS Paint. MS Paint can do some really cool stuff still. I can show you. Have I still got it here? Probably not. I used to do some cool, says I, humbly. I used to do a very, very poor taste comic for an online magazine. Actually, I did 2. The one was called Sheep Mentality, which was about surfing sheep, of all things. And the other one was The Adventures of Megapixel. And The Adventures of Megapixel was done all in MS Paint. Have I got that anywhere here? Archives. Yes. And it was in sometimes in the early 2000 and well, actually mid 2000, so 2005, something like that. The only remnant I've kept from that was the cover for my second album. This was the template I use, but this was this guy here, and I've actually put the. It was a 4-frame setup, and this was the artwork for it. And Megapixel was a superhero that was just rude and homophobic, and everything phobic. He didn't like anyone, really. And it was sort of done in. It was just silly. It was stupid. That kind of stuff. Anyway. But it was all done in sort of pixel art, so all the backgrounds were actually done all in MS. It was all done in MS Paint. All of that. It was all about superheroes and just. But I think the best. I would do all my locales or backgrounds in MS Paint, so stuff like that. Yeah, the Cube Hero, yeah. Yeah, I've done all this artwork for a magazine. So I'd make all these backgrounds for the stories. So, well, obviously I didn't make this one, but this one I'd made, and that was done all in MS Paint. Wait! Oh, I'm getting a refill. I'm getting a refill. Yeah, all that kind of stuff, that was all done in MS Paint. Yeah, it was. There's more backgrounds. So I do the backgrounds and save them in these files, so that I could they would just to check that they would size up and see if they would read well and that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was all in MS Paint. Obviously South Park. Anyway, it's probably a thing that is best forgotten. Thank you. And Sheep Mentality was in a surfing magazine, published in a surfing magazine, and essentially it was just it was sheep, yeah, surfing and just talking about surfing, and that's the format. Again, it was a 4-frame kind of stuff, and I used to copy kind of iconic photos from surfing, and just and some of them were just stills like that, so they put them in the magazine. But it was cool. Like the what was it? I think it was £75 just for like a frame or a picture or something like that, or even just one of those stills. Usually it would be a 4-frame type of stuff, and they'd print it full page, or I think that was a half a page format. But I'd done quite a few. But it was meant to be kind of crude and simple, but it was all sheep going surfing and just doing typical surfer stuff, really. God, I'd forgotten about all of that. Yeah, I had my hands in a few things over the years. Yeah, it was cool journeys. I mean, between the painting and the painting was another one. All the artwork I used to license, all the paintings. These were all stuff I would paint for licensing for companies. Some of them I still use in companies. I'm getting like minute, kind of very minute licensing revenue from that to these days. I'm just going to speed through those. It's not the purpose of tonight. These are the last ones I did. Actually, no, these are the last ones I did, these paintings. and they would be printed on iPhones and stuff like that. The computers, skins, usually skins. The last company that licensed my stuff, that licensed my stuff was called All My Walls, and they were actually in Walmart, and I did quite well out of that. And then I think they went out of business, and Walmart pulled all their stuff out, and that was the end of Ollie being in Walmart. How are you doing, Bard? Good to see you again, buddy. And of course, tradition. I know somebody did it already, but Bard. Sheep don't surf. That was the whole point of Sheep Mentality. It was it was published in a magazine called The Surfer's Path, and it was all about sheep trying to be individuals and rebels and all that. And at the end, it just ended up being sheep, because that's what surfers do. That's what any hobby ends out like. You know, you try to do it to be independent and free, and you just end up doing exactly the same stuff that everybody else does. So let's will this read when it's scaled down to 28? We're making emotes here tonight, Bard. We've got one free emote. God, I'd like to think it would read, but I don't think it will. I think we just need that face alone. Something I like about this is the shadow it's casting here. That contrast is really cool. So let's just try and tighten that composition as much as we can, and then yeah. I think if I want the whole, yeah, I think that's close enough. Maybe can I? And it'll rescale, hopefully. I could possibly just delete this altogether. That's true. Kudos to the mustache and the commitment. You know, this is. I think this would read better. Yeah. Okay, let's go for that and see if we can resize that. Does it? Oh, you know what we need to do is those glasses, actually, because this is, it's not too bad, but we can actually make it pop a bit better. It's not much, but when it gets scaled down, it'll read better. Let's see if I can. Yeah. God tier mustache. You have a walrus mustache. Yeah, we want a picture, Bard. We want a full picture. Okay, so I think. By the way, how's that music? Can you even hear it? Is it too backgroundy? Is it too loud? Because I can't tell. I have the full volume in my ears, but I don't get the stream. It's horrible. You know what I find? It's like an ambient. Fair enough. The beard becomes a problem, especially mustache for soup, and I love soup. And that's why I can't let it grow more than that. I have to trim it. Music right for listening. Fair enough. 15 dB seems to be where it's at. 16. So soup is a problem because I love soup, and so that's why I can't have as long as a beard as I'd like to. It just gets so messy. Anything ice cream as well. We're danger zone with ice cream. Do you know this isn't bad? This one. Let's see how that compares. Anyway, let's save all those sizes. 56. Beard is good for keeping food samples. You make homemade soup a few times a month. Yeah, no, Fiona makes it a few times a week. We love our soup. But yeah, phone. What are you doing? Phone, go away. Yeah, keeping food samples. I don't mind keeping food samples, but somebody doesn't like finding food samples in my beard. Every time. Okay, review time. It means you don't get kissed. I've never been big on the kissing. You know the French kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 kisses when they meet. Never like that when I was when I was still French, but no, never like that when I was in France and living in France, and even less since I moved to Ireland. Every time I go back to France, it's like, oh God, we have to go through that again, and everybody, like, you have to kiss everybody. Obviously, that's going to be interesting after this confinement stuff ends. Like, is that going to be a thing in places like France? Yeah, no, even with girls, I was never big. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. That kind of kissing. That's the JoJo theme, JoJo the monkey theme. But properly paced and equalized and Out of tune, out of sync. I'll pause for a second. Let me find this beautiful accordion version of that. Played in an orchestra. That's the one. And I'm in love with that version. And the accordion player. I won't play the rest because they murdered the piece, but was that accordion beautiful or what? I think it was really, really beautiful. It works really well at that pace on the accordion. So that accordion is a diatonic accordion. It's push and pull system like the concertina. So Leo, if you want to get accordion, I would recommend, if you want to get into that sound, get a piano accordion. Two reasons is that you'll get used to the movement of the accordion and the pushing and pulling, but you only get one note whether you push or pull. And also, it'll make your piano playing a lot better, and you'll get that sound. If you get a diatonic accordion, it's like the concertina, like anything. If you want to get anything out of it, it's going to be a full-time commitment to even just get a sound. I'm lucky. I kind of, over the years, I picked up the concertina from friends. That's why I got one. But that type of accordion she was playing, either you play that or you play nothing else type of thing. It's really demanding sort of system. So the concertina, I got used to finding where the notes are, especially chords. I use it for chords a lot. But other than that, yeah, it's gonna be a tricky one. Piano accordion is really cool. Sounds you can use all those reeds, like this reed selector, so you can use the bass reed, the high reed, both. You get that white sound. Usually, I use it on the high reed setting. It almost sounds like a concertina, and I like that sound very much. So that's my recommendation: get a piano accordion. You'll be happy you did because you learned sort of two instruments at once. And also you don't have to go through that very, very steep learning curve of the push and pull system, because there's no logic in it either. You just, it's not like I'm sure there's a logic, I still haven't found it, but it's not like an harmonica where you get the sharp or the flat, whether you blow or inhale. On a concertina, it's completely different, and it's all over the place. Or even a diatonic accordion would make more sense, but also you'll be limited in the scale you can play. So they're set to a set scale. So I think the C, G, or CD or something like that. So it'll be missing notes too. So yeah, piano accordion, more versatile, easier in that sense. But there's something beautiful about that sound, that sort of the as you could hear previously, that the diatonic accordions have that lilt in them that is inherent and just is a part of that push and pull system that you can't quite replicate or quite get to the same extent with a piano accordion. There's a lot more flow in the piano accordion, which is great too, but that push and pull is so traditionally iconic that it's just yeah, you won't get that. So for all of you folks, well, oh, you can I share this on the can I share this on the stream, Bard? I need your authorization for this, but it's yeah, yeah. It go ahead. The diatonic accordion is so iconic and so beautiful to listen to, and that was a very nice example of how haunting and hypnotic it can be. But it's so hard to learn, and it'll take a lifetime. Whereas you'll get very close to with a piano accordion, and much more versatile and much more fun, I find, to use. We got to do it. I got to do it again. Bard. Yeah, that's a full beard, dude. Problem Child, yeah, it's sea shanty, absolutely. That's the beauty of those Monkey Island composition. They actually captured the sea shanty sort of vibe so perfectly. And these aren't traditional tunes, but they're actually very inspired from traditional tunes, Breton tunes. A lot. That's actually what prompted me to record that Breton tune recently. Do you want to see the video? Actually, will I share the video here? Yeah, a piano accordion you can get easily for about €200. That's how much mine cost. Very low scale model. The thing I would do is try to find a maker or somebody who can tune it, or can repair it, or fix it, or just tune the reeds, or learn how to do it yourself. But it does take quite a bit of kit. So find somebody nearby in your area. I believe California has a few accordion makers and repairers, or people who know how to do that. If you're gonna go that road, and they'll do every type of accordions, because it's the same type of system. As we're looking at Bards, we need to find you a new cap, Bard. I did, you need a new hat, dude. Yeah, I might need to send you a BGO hat. Anyway, yeah, will I share ahead of schedule and before Patreons? I'd feel bad about doing that, but you're here. And that video, I have that tune in my head now, Jojo the Monkey. I'm gonna have to do that next. I even started on the next cover. I think that's gonna be it. 175 covers I've done. What have you shared, Robin Child? That's such a cute. Dude, that has to be the cutest picture. I know it's a sad news. Charlie, oldest southern sea otter at any zoo or aquarium, dies at 22. Oh my god, that's so sad. But how cute is that photo? That's an otter at 22. I saw a couple of sea otters in a place called Roundstone, which is where Fiona and I met, and it's actually we're friends we've history in a place called Roundstone. It's on the other side of Galway Bay, but when we got married, and I'm not wearing it now because of COVID stuff. Rings are notorious for harboring germs and virus. It's going to be hard to see. I don't think you'll be able to see it. On the ring, I've Ohm runes carved, and it says Roundstone. But Roundstone is known for otters, and I used to see them there all the time. Sea otters. We don't have sea otters here at the end of our lane, but we have seals. There's actually loads of seals. And we've seen dolphins the odd time. The sea otters, they like sort of fresh sea, and this is a bay, so it's quite murky and muddy. So we don't have sea otters here. No, that's what I was saying. Yeah, no, we don't see sea otters here. But in Roundstone, I've seen them a few times. Space dolphins. Ninfaniam69, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream, dude. Seals turn fish into. Anyway, so how are we here? Twitch stuff, emotes. Which one reads best? Do you know, I do like this one. I do like this one. Small scale though, I think this one reads best. I don't think we're seeing the glasses and the... I don't think it reads as well here on the small scale. Big scale, larger scale actually though, that the 56 and 120, 112. I don't know why they ask you for these sizes, but they do. It's a requirement, so you have to upload those. I don't know why, but I think the small one, Simon 4, reads better than Simon 5. What do you think? Simon 4 or Simon 5? Nin... Yeah, I'm going to call you Ninfa, because there's just way too many syllables to pronounce. But Ninfa, I'm good. Thank you very much. Yeah, I hope you're holding well in these times. 5, oh, really? 5? You can't choose your moustache is in the way. Well, it doesn't matter. You have to choose with your moustache in the way. Just take your moustache into account in the way, and now your moustache is in the way of both, and you still have to choose. So 4 or 5. Which one reads best? Which one do you prefer? Which one reads best at small scale? And whatever scale you're looking at it at, like if you look at it, just look at it in full screen, put everything in full screen, and just look at those two emotes. Which one looks best? I'm choosing 5. Reads better. I prefer 4. No, sorry. I think 4 reads better. I prefer 5, but I think 4 reads better. But I could be wrong. You want 5, but 4 reads better. Is that despite your moustache? Is that accounting for the moustache? I save you the sound of this. Diaphragm mic. That's the moustache talking. Yeah, I think you got moustache drunk. You're judging. So problem child is going for 5, which I think you're letting your preference talk here. But which one reads better? I think this is muddied here. I think this is too sort of mushed, muddied. Although, shit, I could be wrong. I think 4 reads better. I agree. Yeah. Leo, what do you think? Ninfa, what do you think? Adrian, what do you think? Whoever's in the chat, what do you think? I need opinion. Ryudo, you're in the chat. I can see you. I can see you. I think so. Yeah, 4. 5 is shade out too much. Yeah, I prefer 5 here to 4, but I think 4 reads better. Oh, I hate to do this. We could. Let me try something. See, this is how much time I have to spend on these every time. We could make this a slightly bit darker so that glass would read better. Especially at a smaller size. You walked away to get a drink and you missed a question. Okay, that's a bit extreme. So we're wondering which... I'm making emotes for Twitch. And okay, let me just... that's 28, yeah. So we are wondering which one reads better at the 28 pixel width, because that's only that's the one size we can use on Twitch. And we all agree, it seems that Simon 4 here, because we want something with the glasses. So we seem to agree that Simon 4 here reads... reads better than Simon... So Simon 4 here reads better than Simon 5 here. But we prefer Simon 5 to Simon 4. But I think Simon 4 still looks... I don't know. And now Simon 5B or Simon 5... Simon 5 or Simon 5B. Five is as good as 4 small. It's not bad. I do think 4 reads better, but now I'm actually, you know, I'm gonna go for 5. I'm gonna go for 5, and we'll see what they say and how it works. What number corresponds to 5? So this is Simon 4 here. The only one that matters is the 28 pixel wide. So this is Simon 4, and this is Simon 5 emote. And I've darkened the ear here slightly, and this is my Simon 5B. I don't think that's working as well as I was hoping. Let's try that again. Actually, I think I just need to lighten it. And first select it. in this case, we probably... Actually, I'm going to desaturate it, see if that does anything. Because that could make it less relevant, which looks weird here, but in 28 pixels resolution might actually bring more focus to these sunglasses. And this is 2 hours already. You can imagine the amount of time I'm wasting and losing on doing stuff like that. Oh, yeah, we're talking. The large f is much better, unlike the blue lenses. Yeah, large is not the problem. The problem is small, because the only emote that is going to be used in the chat is the small one. Lighter colors make this stand. Yeah, I agree. So this is probably just too dark and not as contrasted as this. Go for 5 a little. 5 it is. The BGO has spoken. Just because I've said it doesn't mean it's final. You're in front of Simon 4 and 5. Simon, yep, yeah, blah blah blah. Do you have a brand of crisps, Ollie? I don't. It's whatever Fiona is providing. What kind of laughing demon from hell is that? Problem China. You should probably make the emoji offline so we don't distract the fake out of you. No, that's the whole point. It's being distracted and chatting and making these with people. The whole point of me streaming is that I take the tedious part of making these stuff, and even if I take a bit longer, actually, I have a bit of fun out of it. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't do it, and if I did, it'll be just a painful and annoying process, because that's the part I don't enjoy, really. Or I wouldn't enjoy if I was doing it on my own. Okay, I think 4 reads better. I think 5 will look cooler. And is this really 28 pixel? Is that it? It looks slightly bigger. Like if I look at this emote here, it looks slightly better in the chat. It looks slightly bigger than this guy. I think it's halfway between those two, so it might benefit from that. You know what? I'm gonna go for 5. I'm gonna go for 5. Yeah. So, oh no, it's not here. Let me get the Twitch creator dashboard. Open a new tab. Sorry about the noise. Preference, affiliate, emotes. Let's get this here. So I got one emote here and one. Oh, edit. There you go. I think I've got. Oh, I thought I had one emote here. Obviously, I'm wrong, but I do have a tier 3. But there's nobody for tier 3 yet, and I wouldn't encourage it. Oh. Yeah, we'll go for that. We'll go for that. We'll go for that. Oh, by the way, we should get that music back. Actually, I was going to show you that Mike Live Kermit. Where's that emoji from? Actually, I'm doing what people probably are doing for Ed Horse when he says. Okay, that's loading for a while. Come on, come on, come on. Well, while that's loading, I'll. Oh, Mike Matei. Okay. Affiliated with Angry Video. No, I know he is. It's funny. I've never been a watcher of Angry Video Game Nerd. I do appreciate the work he's done and his achievements and all that. It's never been a channel I really watched or even really knew much about. And it seems to be huge in North America, but I was never. I don't know. I was never really exposed to it that much, and I can't. I've probably seen a couple of his videos, but that was really it. That's really it. And I know he's the sort of the granddaddy of a lot of retro gaming reviews on the internet. I know that much. But yeah, he's another YouTuber I've been exposed to much, really. Mike Matei was the sort of editor, wasn't he? Like he was the he was behind the camera, like he was the behind the scene guy, wasn't he? What am I doing? Oh yeah, composition. So yeah, Leo, this is the result of that stream. I don't know who else was in that stream at the time, but that's the end piece. And I kept little bits of that stream, and I used sort of stock footage of just literally within 500 meters of my house. Probably maybe a kilometer, actually, because there's a couple of walks we did. But it's all within the vicinity of my house, just stock footage. So I'll listen to it once more, and I think we might put an end to this. We'll see. Let me just change the volume here, because there you go. You need more desktop volume, and I'll put it that size. And it's an opportunity to plug the Twitch channel again. So I'll listen to it once more, and I think we might put an end to this. We'll see. Because I'm cooking dinner tonight. I might come back afterwards. We'll see. There you Not enough kazoo. Bard! You're in your fucking kazoo. Not enough cowbell. Oh my god. Yeah, that cowbell is never coming out ever again. The amount of time, every time I use that, like since the Magnum PI cover, it took about like 5-6 weeks for people to stop saying not enough cowbell on the new covers, and then I took it out again. What was it for the 1943 cover? And it was the same stuff. Like, it took a few weeks to people stop saying not enough cowbell, and then I used it again for the Castlevania cover, and again people were like, it took forever for that to stop. I think I'm done using the cowbell because every time I use it, like people go on for weeks afterwards, for every single cover afterwards, going not enough cowbell. But yeah, the sound of the U bass, yeah, it's just, yeah, it works really. Do I have a drone? No, you know what, Problem Child, I'd love a drone. I did actually think for a while of getting one of those powered drones. I I have a couple of GoPro cameras, so I want a drone that can actually hold the GoPro, because I don't want a drone with a custom its own camera. So I need to have something that I can customize myself, because I have a GoPro, one of those GoPro Fusion as well. So I want something that I can fit different stuff on. And I don't know enough about drones to get one really. I haven't had time to do any research on it really. I don't know enough about drones. I have a couple of friends at work actually, or well, I should say colleagues, but they're friends too. But cause actually two of them support the channel. But that actually I have a couple of drones, and I should ask them really. Can fly my surfboard. I should actually, next time I can go surfing, whenever that is. We still can't go to the beach here, but I should get some stock footage of surfing. So all that footage was recorded 3 years ago on my mobile phone. That's why it's so shaky. There's a couple of them I think I had a tripod for, but most of them, yeah, but I have to work with what I have. Magnum PI is the best cowbell face. I did practice it, yeah. Just done some 360 videos of local area. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I love that GoPro Fusion I have is great. It makes some really, really cool footage. Really interesting to edit as well. You run a search and rescue and operate a drone during mission. Wow. Useful. Yeah, I can imagine it's so useful. It's just you get footage and vantage points and just footage that you never thought you could get on a budget. I mean, it's also on a budget. Like if you think of the price of the average drone, that wasn't uploading, by the way. I'm going to start it over. Price of the average drone is super cheap now. You know, all things considered, even for a good drone, it's incredibly affordable, especially for any like a company or state agency or anything like that. It's just it's minimal investment for huge returns. I can see why it's used for stuff like that. Why is that 112 not uploading? Yeah, become invisible. A sky view can really expand your escape. And in fact, have a great night, dude. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, it's a boring stream. I know. It's just I like using those to do the tedious task I would have to do on my own otherwise. Why is this not uploading? What's going on here? different. We're gonna have to save that. Sorry, music's too loud. Oh, is that what it is? 9-inch. Why didn't I not twig that? 9-inch nails fan. I am. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. My mistake. I'm so slow sometimes. Yeah, I lowered the music. Is it still loud? Yeah, I had it still fairly loud. I'm sorry. Is it okay now? Well, it's not playing now, so... Whoa! Still too loud. Yeah, the intro was loud. I think it should be okay now. I have it on... I should be. Scared the crap out of me. Yeah, I still had it too loud. Sorry. I have it on minus 30 dB. It should be well in the background. I'm just kidding. Oh, that's cool, Leo. You know what, Leo? Actually, I want to hear those Wonder Boy 3 covers. Leo today was practicing Wonder Boy 3 music on fingerstyle guitar. That was really good. But the Mass Devil, yeah, I'd love to hear those. With the full chord progression or bass progression. Is the music okay now? Or is it still too loud? Actually, I have lowered that in my headphones. Is it still too loud? Loud! Still too loud. Okay. That's fair enough. Now it should be better. Okay. Let's keep. You just let me know if it's too loud. I'll lower it. Is it still too loud? Should it be way in the background? Because I don't really have a way of telling. Really, I can't hear my voice over this. So let's try to upload this. Why was that not uploading? Oh my God! Oh, there you go. Okay, and I know it's the different file, different stuff, but Unicode, cool, Banjog 1, cool. It got it's pending. So you can see here they're fine, but this one is pending. It's pending approval. God damn it. I think this is our next. Emote. Yeah, it won't show yet. It's going to take a couple of days. They have an approval system for affiliates. So unless you're an actual partner, and the difference between affiliate and partner, I'm not sure what the benefits are. It's just probably I don't know what the benefits are of partner and affiliate versus affiliate. Sorry, but obviously one of them is that you need to get approved for all your emotes. So there's going to be a couple of these, but it means I'm going to make another one here tonight, and it's going to be that one. Twitch stuff. Simon photos. Any photos we can use. Now that we've gone through them again. No, that's not different enough. I want to redo this one. Have him full in the picture and the glasses and everything. I think this one will read best. Simon doesn't need approval. Oh yeah, he'll make a terrible Pokemon. Okay, let's do that. Oh cool, I just got an order for those Taito, that PC 30cm module, Problem Child module. I think I think that's the agreed word on that thing, not IC, not hybrid. I've heard a few times, module and hybrid. That shop has been doing actually surprisingly well. That's actually what's keeping the channel together. Because I couldn't justify really, like if I was honest, the 8-bit manshed is taking way too much time. And way too much energy and time and effort and money to source those parts. So it's just not as a channel, it's not a viable channel. But the channel, the shop, the Etsy shop has changed all that. It's actually made it worthwhile, because the money I get from the shop is actually what sustains the channel, so I can use that money to get all those parts to fix all that and experiment on all those boards and that kind of stuff. So I do have a philosophy that hobbies need to pay for themselves. So I have these sort of because I have mortgage and family and all that kind of stuff, and I have this philosophy of hobby costs sort of zero type of thing. So the Etsy shop has been a blessing, because it's actually made the channel sustainable and not profitable, but at least sustainable as a hobby, that it's not costing me anything to do all this and have all these equipment and ordering all those parts and that kind of stuff. Because if I'm honest, like repairing those boards actually in parts does cost money. Like even if I sell a board, I would probably, like, the purchase cost of the broken board and parts and everything is I wouldn't break even if it wasn't for the shop. So it's been cool. It's been a great addition to the channel, and it's been worthwhile to do. And what's funny is that it's usually the Mega Drive and the MSX cards that are the biggest seller on that. In another shed. Yeah, I love another. You can't have enough shed. A big F in one, yeah. Cash neutral is good. Yeah, cash neutral. That's a good word. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, but I've always been about that. Hobbies need to pay for themselves. Especially when you're married. But even like it's it's a good practice to have to try to make your hobby to pay for itself, and make it sustainable. I think you make a loss half the time. Yeah, it's just most of the time, unless you do it full time repairs, like Mark Hazeman, like of Retro Clinic, and people say he's very expensive, but he does a great job of fixing, and that's his main gig. That's his job of fixing all those boards. So, like it or not, I mean, he has to make a living off it. He's fixed two of my Outrun boards. I liked that game so much that I wouldn't chance fixing my boards myself, and I knew he'd do a good job. It's funny because one of the boards I knew exactly what the problem was. It was one of the counters on the ROMs holding the graphics, and I still wouldn't fix it. So because I had another board that was just dead, I sent him that other board, and I sent him the two boards, and he fixed them. But I was kind of glad and smug at that. I did identify which IC was wrong in the first place, but he still charged me for it, though. But he charges professional rate, and so he should. He does a great job. The boards were sent back clean, and I couldn't tell you which ICs he'd removed. The solder job on the solder part were so clean and professional that if you told me that was factory, I would have believed it. He's really good. But he charges you for it, and so he should. Amazing job, amazing work. But he's got a full setup as well to diagnose and everything. Like he's very good. Like my stuff on the channel is guesswork at best, And if you watch the videos, most of the time I'm going, I think this IC is wrong, and it's not wrong. It's actually fine, and I move on to the next. If you're at that level, you deserve the cash, absolutely, and I'll gladly pay for it. In fact, I have a couple of boards that I'm tempted to send in because it's not for the channel, it's for me, and I want them professionally done. It's a Asteroid board. That cab is still on its way, but I know that the board is fried, and I will probably send in the board and not even take a chance at it, because it's not for me. It's not for the channel. It's for me personally, and I just want a running cab at this stage, quick and fast. And maybe down the road I'll get a spare board that's broken, and I'll attempt to fix it myself. But when it comes to stuff like that, yeah. It's a brittle board, yeah, fair enough. I don't know anything about Asteroid yet. That's the one board you have everything for, fair enough. I might send it to you then. Probably makes a difference, yeah. You can actually get... it was actually you, Problem Child, that put me onto it about getting a PCB repro. Somebody's made a repro of the PCB and getting it populated, but like by the time you factor the cost of everything, I wonder if it's worthwhile. Like you can get, I think the minimum order from GLC PCB, an analog section, seems to fail a lot, but by the time you order everything from GLC PCB, well, it's a minimum order of 5 boards, which is more than you need. So I'll probably have to see if somebody wants it, split it halfway or something like that, or split it per board. But it's not too expensive to get it. You get 5 PCBs for 80 or 90 quid, but then all the parts and that kind of stuff, I'm not sure if I even have spares. It's okay if you need to split. Maybe like just send a message here and there, see like does somebody want a board, that kind of stuff, like well, it comes to like 15. Yeah, exactly. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I think it comes to like 15 quid for a board altogether, which is quite cheap. But then you need to populate it. I'll let you know, Problem Child. Actually, if I order a few boards, you might want 1 or 2. And that way we can just get batch them for quite cheap. Not going to be winding coils though, it's just letting you know. Well, the monitor is going to be another problem. Anyway, I'll deal with that when it comes to it. More Simon. But that cab hasn't arrived yet. I got it from Coin Up Warehouse in February, and I think it's going to be my last indulgence in arcade machines, because I already don't have the space for it, and it's sort of the last machine I would have wanted in the first place. So. So I sort of have all the machines I wanted to get. That 1943 42 cab I might just move or just convert to either Tetris or Puzzle Bubble. I actually got a working cart since that last video. Not the same cart. That cart needs a new PCM, but I got an original. Oh, need to convert that to a layer first. Otherwise, the background is not going to show you. I do like Tetris. I think Puzzle Bubble is probably a game that both Fiona and I will play a lot more than Tetris. And I gotta look at it that way as well. Man, that algorithm for just pattern recognition here is amazing. Look at that, just like that. I need another shed. Yeah, I'd love another shed. So we had to supply a supply of college for vector monitors. I don't know anything about vector monitors. It's going to be again a steep learning curve for me, and obviously video is incoming. But how cool is that tune? That's the LeChuck thing. Here's my that's my plectrum holder. Or less drunk. Yeah, that's another option. Need more junk, always need more junk in my apartment. It's full and I have to find homes for it all. Yeah, flashcards, I think that's the way to go, to be honest. I've been for so long I've been a huge believer of original games, original cards, original hardware, and more I find myself going towards emulation and or FPGAs in that sense, and flash cards. Or even just emulators. I used to just not at all like play emulators on my PC, and more I find myself just playing emulator here. Because convenience, because space, everything. It's just, yeah. And keeping the actual hardware to systems I had. So the MSX, the Amiga, the Master System. And that's really it. And the Vectrex. I didn't have a Vectrex, but a friend of mine had a Vectrex, and we used to play it together. What am I doing here? Oh yeah, Twitch stuff, sorry. Emotes. Yeah, it's... do you know, I used to say all sorts of bad things about emulation, but I had to revise my judgment for the sake of convenience, and I take it all back. It's great. I would say just, you know, use original wherever and whenever you can and whenever it's convenient, but it's yeah. If I can play like that when I was streaming and I was playing the MSX, I was using an emulator, and because again convenience, and it plays just exactly like I remember the MSX. I didn't see any difference or notice anything, even on games that I knew well. So I you know. I have my MSX machines and I do fire them up every now and then. But if I want to share footage and if I want to share stuff, I have to go with the emulation. But I used to be big into the collecting side of things, but I not so much anymore. Again, aside from MSX and Amiga, I can't resist any MSX stuff. But I've sold most of my NES collection recently, and most of my Mega Drive collection, and SNES. I didn't have a big SNES stuff anyway. I had about 15 cards. But I sold most of that. I think I just kept 5 Mega Drive games. It's different for the Mega Drive as well, because I can make my own cards if I want to as well. So it's just the appeal isn't as strong. But the NES, I realized I was just collecting these cards for the sake of having them on a shelf, and I wasn't playing any of them ever. So I've kept... what have I kept? I've kept Super Mario, Zelda 1 and... no, it's just Zelda 1, all the Castlevania 1, 2 and 3, and I think Mega Man 2, and I think that's it, and Punch Out. But I think that's the extent of my NES collection. SNES, I have Street Fighter 2, and I think that's it. I think that's the only game I have for the SNES now. And it's actually a handy one. That's the only game, and it's the only game I play, and I actually play it because I have less games. Mega Drive, I've just kept stuff like Sonic, Shinobi, I have Outrun, and Outrun Turbo, but it's Outrun, I had to have it, and then Golden Axe, sort of Mega Drive, Sega arcade classics. But that's really it. And then the rest are just repros that I've made. So, like, Wonder Boy, whatever, 4 or something like that, with the girl. Actually, all the Wonder Boy games I've reproed. The Castlevania, Musha, but these are all repros. Yeah, that's the extent of my card collection on those systems. But in Master System, I have a healthy collection. MSX is probably my biggest collection now, and then the Amiga. I have a good few Amiga boxes, but nothing outrageous either. I've kept the Amiga to games I played or I tried. That kind of reads cool as well. Do you know, we could use that for... Because I use this guy for tier 2 and I don't like it. So for tier 2 we could probably make a series of emotes with Spider-Man. My God, the music came in when I said Spider-Man. Yeah, I like that idea. We're gonna change this. Tier 2, because that's just lame. The one, I don't like the idea of him having my face on an emote. It's no. Delete. I said delete. Come on, delete my face. Why won't you delete my face? The skull here, yeah. It's actually this skull cam. Maybe that's what I should do. Have the skull cam. There you go. I've a sleepy cat as well here. Maybe I should have a cam on the cap, and don't make the joke. Don't make the joke. Why won't you delete that emote? It's just... It's gonna... I want to replace this emote in here. Tier 2. Maybe I need to select... When do I unlock another tier 2 emote? So the next unlock is 10 subscribers from now. Really. But lads, please let me. Tier 3 I can upload something, but tier 2 it's just, and I'm trying to delete. Come on. Maybe it's something best done next time. Maybe it needs to be approved as well. I don't know. They need to approve the delete process as well. It's just a silly. Or maybe keep tier 2 here and use the Spider-Man. Make custom Spider-Man Simon. Le chat d'écran. That doesn't work, dude. Nice try though, but a brave attempt. I just think that's so lame. Yeah. I don't like putting my face on stuff like that. Or the temptation was to have my just mug on emotes, and I think Simon works so much better and is so much more such more comedic value. And I don't like this. I put it this because that's all I had, but I don't like it, and I think it's lame and yeah, like, whatever. Oh please, Leo, we want French. Your French still sucks. You can order a drink. That's all that matters. If in France you want to be able to order food, not so much a drink, but you want to be able to order food. Don't underestimate the mustache. Okay, can I just leave this and just come back to the emote settings? Is it still here? Magic, just magic, pure magic. Okay, love you, Twitch. Okay, all right. Spider-Man is tier 2. And I'll do as hopefully I can unlock. I don't know how you unlock more tier 2 emotes, but God damn it, Twitch. Weird thing, you spend a ridiculous amount of time in France, but because of the area, nobody absorbs them. Story of how Ollie turns into a supervillain. Yes, I can't upload an emote. Okay, do you know what? We're emote setting. Emotes. It's gone. Refresh. What's switched on? Where? What is Twitch fried or? Yeah, the music is ominous as well. It is just it fits the. Curse you, emote. I will find you, and I will kill you, emote. I will find where you live on the internet. Every now and then, my friends and my wife ask about my accent and about the French accent and all that kind of stuff, and I do have a French accent, but it's not overly strong, and it has been obviously perverted by the Irish accent somewhere there. And but I do try every now and then. I do try to put on the French accent, and it just doesn't feel natural anymore. If I try to speak with my my French accent, which would be my natural accent when I speak French. It feels forced, and I can't do it anymore. It's the weirdest thing. I wish I could, because I have French friends here, and I'm slightly jealous of their French lilt that I seem to have, their true French lilt that I seem to have lost. It's still some of it there, obviously. Yes. Okay, it's pending, but it's saved. Soon Spider-Man has to stop Yuki Banjo guy. Okay, yeah, it's funny, but at least you're between English. My collapse between English and Dutch. You know, it's like German. Like these are Germanic languages. English is. And so is Dutch in that sense, you know, linguistically. But there's such a difference between Latin languages and Northern Germanic languages, and yet it seems to have taken over my even the thought process of forming sentences. Like if I go back to France, I would struggle, at least for the first couple of days, just to form proper French sentences. It comes back really quickly, you know. Just give me a couple of days and I'm back pretty much 100%. But it's just it really has informed the way I put together sentences syntactically. Obviously in English, but obviously in it affects the way I put them in my head in French for a while until I correct. That's the French booze, dude. Learning Dutch is, yeah. That's just because for most English speakers, no, see, the Dutch, English, technically, they're not, and German, they're not that different or that foreign to each other. It's just the same way French or Spanish or Italian would be to me. That's why I can read most Spanish. And if I spend any amount of time, like Fiona and I go to the Canary Islands quite a bit, and after a few days, I'm getting more at ease, you know, with the language. At least I can understand what's being said, or decipher is more appropriate. But the and same with Italian, and I did some Italian in college. It's not that different. So any amount of time spending just immersed in that environment, you'd pick it up. But Germanic languages are so different from Latin languages that it's just the gap is that much bigger. And it's funny, yeah. I'll be 45 this year. So I came here when I was 21 on my 22nd year. So I've spent more time here speaking English than French, and I'm at the stage where I speak none perfectly. And it's not the case that I speak one good and the other one almost as good. I speak none equally bad or equally well. I speak both equally bad. I think we saved those. They worked. Can I check? Yes! So it's going to be a couple of days. Can I have access to them here? No, I don't even have access to them. That's pretty impressive, Leo. Wow. Did you pick that up in your service then? Did you have lessons and stuff like that then? You're a little... Yeah. Oh, fair enough. For immersion, so you didn't have lessons. That's pretty impressive, just from immersion. But that's the best way to learn any language. Okay, that's 3 hours, 3 emotes done. Man. You can only do it when you're... yeah. Drink helps loosen tongues. Fair enough. Okay, that's yeah, we got 3 emotes, 3 hours. This one, I don't know what we'll do with it. We might yet use it at some point, but it was good to do. We might still use it yet if this one doesn't actually translate well, but I think it reads. I think in full screen it reads. If these do, and I'm still convinced. I'm just looking from a different screen here. Just bear with me. I'm just testing. No, they're the same size. It's just because they're isolated here. They look bigger on the chat. I think they work. I think this one. I love this one. So we might keep tier 2 for Spider-Man. And I'd think of something. I still have another one to use here. I haven't done anything with it for tier 3, which I'm assuming it's. I'm assuming tier 2 is 2 months membership, but tier 3 would be whatever. I'm not sure what that refers to, so we'll have to think of something. But I don't think anybody's subscribed to that level, and I don't think anybody should. There you go. Yeah, Spider-Man is the best superhero, isn't it? Where's my... that music in the background. I don't know if you can hear it as much as I can, but it's just that cool. Yeah, Spider-Man. I like this one too, but I think this one is more interesting as a photo and as a composition, but I think this one reads best as a emote. I don't think this one would have. People would have been wondering what they're looking at. I like this one. It's same with this. I think this reads well as a photo, but it wouldn't have as a emote. And this angle here is probably the best option we had. Yeah. How did you get Simon, or how did Simon get you? Etsy. I was looking for... God, what was it? How did I get the idea of getting it in the first place? It was a YouTube channel called This Cat Is Ned. I don't know if you know about it. This Cat Is Ned. Let me just... Let me just get a few... There you go. And he had this puppet cat. Let me just kill the music for a second. And joking aside, it was this channel. Which one is best? Maybe it is.
Uh-oh! One lemon, two lemons, three lemons, four what? Banana! What are you doing? Get out of there, banana. Come on. What are you doing here, Carlos? What's that? You come looking for the jade monkey? Well, I got bad news for you, man. I sold the jade monkey to pay for your ex-wife's, my current wife's, brain operations. Hi, Will, it's me. How's work? Good. Quick question. The water in the toilet, good for washing electronics or bad for washing electronics? Well, I hardly think that language is appropriate for work, William. This food bowl is practically empty. Oh, you can see the bottom right there.
You get the idea. It was this kind of stuff, and I was like, oh, I'd love to learn how to operate a puppet that way. Actually,
Sorry! Oh, sorry! Sorry!
Will? Will? Did you hear a noise? I definitely heard a noise. It might have been the wind, but I'm concerned that it also might have been a poltergeist. Will, do we have poltergeists? You stay here. I'll go check it out.
Well, sorry I farted back there a little. I don't know if it woke you up, but I just wanted to let you know it was me who farted, in case you were wondering who it was. I just didn't want you to think that somebody, broke in and farted or anything. Sorry for farting. Uh-oh, well, the neighbor's cat's on the lawn again. Uh-oh, he's coming up onto the porch again. Willie's on the porch. Willie's, I'm gonna hiss at him. Uh-oh, he's still there. Get out of here, you cat.
anyway. Yeah, it was a great channel. They stopped making videos at some point. Literally stopped. They went so close to 100,000 subscribers and stopped. And that was the 3 years ago. It was such a shame because every video was doing well. Like it was a killer, and but they just stopped, and I don't know why. Anyway, and very few videos on the channel, like all things considered, like for something that went, that big. Cat Hub is the channel. There's
What are you doing?
I'm helping.
You're...
I'm helping. I spelled an H.
There's obviously two people operating the puppet. Or the video. Anyway, you get the idea. Every video is a killer on the channel, but there's very few, and they stopped. That's their problem. But it was really cool. It was really cool when it lasted. I recommend watching them in order as well. Cat Hub, or This Cat is Ned. It was really good. So anyway, it was seeing that, and I was like, oh, I'd love to learn how to operate a puppet for no reason whatsoever. I had no intention of getting Simon or doing anything with it. And then, I got this guy, and started just playing with it. So the idea was that obviously it's a sleeve. It's a sleeve, and then you just operate the mouse with the hand. But then you use rods to just I just tie rods with bands, just to tie to the rods in the hand, just to operate the hand, and just keep the fingers kind of like that pointed. Some of them would have articulated fingers. You can actually just use them just to do, just like pointing or that kind of stuff, or just keep them like that. But I just use rubber bands, just keep everything tight. You can see them on the videos, and but he just had so I went on Etsy just looking for these sort of type of puppets sort of stuff, and he came up along with a few. He was available in a few colors, and I'm so mad now because the lady who did them stopped making them, but she had a few colors for these dogs, and I just thought that color worked really well, and so I ordered one. I should have ordered 2 or 3 because he's getting filthy, and I'm afraid to wash it in case the seams would just break. Essentially, I'm just afraid to break him. So when he goes, that's the last of it. He's just going to be a one-time type of puppet, and that's it. When he starts breaking, I'll do my best to patch and mend him, but that'd be it. I probably won't get and one like that because she stopped making them. There's no more being made, and I think he's a unique kind of look. I suppose I could learn how to make one. If he starts breaking, I could take him apart and just repro Simon hand wash. Yeah, but it's not just a hand wash; it's the seams would break. There's a seam here starting to break under his armpit. But I'll patch him as best that I can. He lasts a few years yet, and it's not like I'm overusing him at all. We'll see. Folks, it's been over 3 hours of me doing silly emotes and chatting and playing pirate music in the background. Sorry. Too loud. I think here is a good time to end this stream and get to bed because it's quite late. It's 1 o'clock here. You can, fabric cleaner, something like that. Yeah. We'll make it last. We'll make him last, and I'll use him for videos. Yet it's just, I just wish at the time I had the foresight to order 2 as opposed to just 1. That's just the way it is. I didn't. Folks, Leo, Problem Child, Bard, whoever's left in the chat here, Thank you very much for staying with me that long. And we'll do that again. I was hoping I'll get the emotes done in an hour, and I'll be able to start editing that music video and put the names and of the tunes and names of the games on it, and fix all the issues and add the. But obviously, I haven't enough time. So 3 hours, 3 emotes, and a little bit of chatting. But look, it's just. I'd rather spend more time and at least make it enjoyable for myself than do it on my own for probably it would still take me 2 hours to do it on my own, even if I wasn't chatting and streaming. So I'd rather stream, chat, enjoy myself, and talk to friends while I'm doing it. Folks, thank you. I'm going to leave you with my beautiful new thanks for watching screen. That is that is not working, but it should be working. Let me just check. But yeah, at jar, what's that? Everything's eventual. Yeah, at some point. It works. Anyway, folks, have a good night. There it is. Thanks for watching.